Hello and welcome. This is Matthew from LoveBudi with another daily love tip. Today's date is the 27th of August 2019. It's a Tuesday afternoon here in the Philippines where I live right now. And today I want to talk about religion. I quit religion. I was born as a Catholic. And then when I quit Catholicism, I became a Jehovah's Witness for 5 years, became very serious about being a Jehovah's Witness until I experienced more aspects of the religion. I quit that, and then I got into Soka Gakkai Buddhism and began chanting every day. And I did TM for a while. It's not really a religion, transcendental meditation. I also looked into Mormonism. I studied that for a while. I studied about Islam when I lived in Malaysia and got involved in Islam a little bit. And I also became a Scientologist. I joined Scientology. And when I was I did Scientology for 5 years. I became very serious in Scientology as well, studying all the things they believe and how the organization works. And I kind of reached a decision point there to where I quit Scientology. And then I've also done a lot of looking at evangelical, been to a lot of evangelical services. And I quit religion. When I turned 25, I quit religion. Doesn't mean I didn't keep looking at religion. Doesn't mean I didn't look at what's also kind of a religion, is something that's called the Forum by a company called Landmark Education, which is more of a cult than anything else. Self-perpetuating cult. What they do is they challenge you to find more people. And that's what they're about, building that organization. You know, they've got their information from all over the place, but the first weekend seminar that I took with those guys, they made everybody sign a release that they weren't going to steal the information. But I made the point that they got all that information from other places, so why are they trying to copyright it, control it themselves, dominate that? So, long story short, when I quit religion because I didn't see love in religion. I didn't see love. I can give you a million examples. I mean, when I was Jehovah's Witness and I was having trouble, I told the guy, look, I'm having trouble with premarital sex. I'm having trouble controlling myself. And he threatened to break my arm. He said, I want to hear about it. I'm going to break your arm. Now, he was one of the leaders of the church. Evangelicals, you know, I went to their services many, many times, and they're more about, all the evangelicals that I met were more about accepting Jesus as your personal Savior, making a pledge to accepting their dogma and following their dogma. But there weren't really any community services. Like, for example, they have what they called a community service that was a pantry, but the pantry was only there. I mean, people would pull up in their Mercedes and pick up free groceries. What kind of hypocrisy is that? But they didn't care, because what they were focusing on was not helping people, empowering them in a way that you and I might think about it, but bringing them into their cult, bringing them into having the same beliefs that they're having. And this involves, you know, accepting Jesus, going to their Bible studies, and accepting their indoctrination. It doesn't really have anything to do with, you know, empowering people to be whoever they want to be, whatever religion they want to be or not. Whatever they want to do with their life, it's not really about that at all. Now, I had that experience on the south side of Chicago. And when I was in Scientology, of course, Scientology is getting exposed more and more as the cult that it is. And Scientology had nothing to do with love at all whatsoever. It had to do with eternal, literally. I mean, I signed a billion-year contract, which I happily broke, and I'm so happy that I broke that promise, because when we make stupid promises that hurt us or hurt others, there's no reason to keep them, not for the sake of keeping a promise. Sometimes I talked to a guy who's in the military who said, hey, I'm not going to quit the military. I said, well, you know what you're doing is wrong. But he felt like it was more wrong to break a promise than it was to continue killing innocent people or being part of a criminal organization. So when it comes to integrity, love gives you integrity. Love gives you the power. Love gives you the focus. Love gives you the clarity about how to behave and what to do. And when it was Scientology, wow, I mean, I was still a kid. I was in my early 20s, but I was really a kid. And getting out of Scientology, was maybe one of the first steps to real clarity. When I quit Jehovah's Witnesses, I was kicked out. Well, after I quit, and I didn't really know. I really felt like, well, if there is a God, maybe I'm, if this God is Jehovah, maybe I'm going to be killed by God. Maybe God is angry. Maybe God hates me. And I lost all my friends, and I lost my family, lost my brother. He hasn't talked to me since. And that was 40 years ago, 38 years ago. So, is that about love? No. Scientology wasn't. Evangelical Christianity had nothing to do with love. It had more to do with dogma. Catholicism was so much, although there are loving people in most all these groups, that love kind of gets stifled, it gets shut down, it gets closed off, it gets manipulated, it gets channeled into sick areas. So when I was a Catholic, for example, they're all about tradition, and their tradition is so strong that when I questioned my father and my grandfather about some of the dogma, when I was becoming a Jehovah's Witness, ironically enough, they got angry. They got really angry at me. They threw the Bible at me, in fact. They said, look it up here, blah, blah. They used the Dewey Reams translation, which was different than the one that I was using. I was using the King James at the time, but it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're without love, then you're lost. And I was lost. And I went from religion to religion. I went from self-help group to self-help group, reading all kinds of self-help books and things like that. And, a lot of them have little pieces of great things. A lot of people are doing a lot of really great work. And a lot of people, although they may not mention love like I do, they're love-based. They're not talking about it, but they're doing it. And there's a lot of really wonderful people out there, and they're helping other people. So I don't want to knock them. But what I do want to say is that when I quit religion, I was free. On my 25th birthday, by total coincidence, I had just kind of an epiphany, and I realized that all these religions that I was trying, all of these things that I was doing, these different kind of groups, which all amounted just to be cults, because what they did was they deprived me of the truth and they deprived me of love, and they weren't love-based. If you're not love-based, you're nowhere. You got nothing. So when I realized that, then I knew, okay, I started to get a better idea, and I started to get a good sense of, if I don't see love in there, if there's not nurturing, if there's not compassion, if there's not understanding, then it's just kind of a club, or a cult. So I realized the great denominator, the great equalizer that is inside of all of us. And people get misled. And, if I hadn't been to so many countries and so many religions and experimented and learned, and, I was studying occult when I was, 9 years old, 8 years old? I was studying handwriting analysis because I just wanted to learn more about the human spirit. And I wanted to find the secrets to why we're here and what we're doing and things like that. I studied hypnosis and astral projection when I was barely a teenager. And very few people have the luxury or have focused on these things, so they don't draw these same conclusions. So I'm here to share what I've learned, because I've done that research. I've personally gone to the meetings and personally signed the papers and personally been baptized and personally tried, and searched and studied. And I've come across love as something that you can't compare it. Nothing else gets anywhere near, because everything else tries to put you in a box. Everything else tries to limit you with arbitrary ideas and rules and money, got to give money, all these other things, But love is free. Love is inside of all of us. We're all experts on love. We just need to look into our hearts, share the love, learn the love, teach the love. That's what we're about. That's what I advocate. That's what I believe in. Once, you know, I quit religion, my life changed. Just amazing. Thanks so much for listening. This is Matthew from LoveBudi with a love tip for today. I hope you are having a wonderful day. I hope your life is filled with love. I love you. Come to LoveBudi.com. Look at the notes here with this video. Come to LoveBudi.com and get the love that you deserve. Share the love with others. Get involved in the love conversation. Until next time, I'll say bye-bye for now.